Hi viewers, I'm On, a youth participant with the Breaking Sky Productions and in partnership with the Youth in Tech Incubator program. Today, we're here to have a fireside chat with our special guest, Dr. Jorge Wong, who is a licensed psychologist, a graduate trainer, and advocate in the AAPI and Latinx communities, reducing the stigma of mental health. So the next topic that we wanted to bring to light is the AAPI experience with COVID. So as we know, COVID-19 originated from China, and this has greatly impacted attitudes toward Asian Americans given the rise in hate crimes. So have you or anyone you know been affected by the increase in hate crimes?
Yes, as you know, the past administration blamed China for it, but who knows where it came from. At least many people have been receiving anti-Asian hate crime or even physical assaults. So we also have had to deal with it. So from a professional side, statements have been made, or at least we made ourselves available to talk with individuals who may have come close to that, or what to expect after, say, someone got attacked, what kind of resources there are. So belonging to several professional organizations, we've also been able to go out and say, hey, we have our members who are willing to help and provide potential like consultation or some therapy. So yes, I think we have all been impacted one way or another. People that we know, people who, the relatives or friends of people that we know. So it has come close to home, and it actually does impact and makes myself think, would I be safe even going out there like everybody else? But the nice thing is that collectively Asian Americans have come together and actually taken a much more active role in responding to it. Anti-Asian sentiment has been around for hundreds of years in the United States. So I think it's just like, how much do we come together to use what is culturally appropriate here in the United States, to really fight it, whether it's like to protest, change legislation. It's something that we need to become more active with.
Yes. So, and I like that you said that it has been around. Like you can see it in history, in past legislatures. But it's kind of almost nice that recently it has been brought to more attention, and more people are aware about this issue. So,
if I can also just quickly say that I think you also take into consideration cultural values, right? Many of us have grown up with like tolerance and don't speak out when you don't have anything interesting to say. But I think now that the pressure has built up so much, and I think there's a younger generation understanding that those values may not necessarily be the most appropriate for the American cultural values, we need to adapt, and we need to really be able to be culturally competent, like in certain settings be much more Asian, but in other settings be much more American. So I think I'm glad to see that many have taken the call to actually become more American in relating or responding within the American system. And I think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. So that brings us to our next question. So what are some safe ways to handle the stress of recent events, but still have our voices be heard?
Many individuals feel that they have not had the venues to really express themselves. And I think like we're doing right now, getting a fireside chat, expressing your opinion. Many people are interested in hearing what other folks have to say. Remember that if everybody here has the ability to reach out to governmental people within the city, county, we want the state level, just getting together, organize like a meeting, go talk to the office and say, hey, we as young people who live in this neighborhood, who are your constituents, when we or our parents are, we're concerned about this. So it gives you some sense of the ability to bring information, concerns from the constituents at the legislators level or districts, that they need to respond to the need of the people. That's one way. Bring that in classes, in discussions, in Zoom meetings, bring out these issues as something that is relevant, is in the forefront of your mind, to really have people have these so-called more difficult conversation, or trying to hold safe space for people to discuss these issues. I think it is current, and I think it's valid. It's a historical potential change in how things can be done. So you might as well just take advantage of it and share what your thoughts are, what your concerns are, so that things can be made better for everybody.
Yes. So. Especially like we have social media platforms that everyone's like able to spread awareness and really keep this an important issue to push our legislatures. Yeah. So do you think extra attention on social media is beneficial, and do you think it can actually have a negative effect on our mental health?
Um, Everything has a pro and a con, right? Good things and bad things. Social media can be a good thing to kind of disseminate to a large audience, but then you're also going to get responses. The question is, what do you do? How do you respond back? Some people will just get on to antagonize your perspective or come from a very different perspective. You can invite to a discussion, but sometimes it could be very difficult to do, or you can choose to ignore them. In some of the stuff that I've posted, at times people have responded in a negative way back, and I've chosen not to respond. So after a while, they just kind of go off and just keep doing what I keep posting. So it's really about the choice on how you respond to some of the things that you put out. Social media, in that sense, is good and bad again, because it gets a lot of dissemination, but it also gets a lot of unwarranted responses too. But the key thing is like, how do you respond to that? How do you choose to engage in that kind of conversation, or let it go and just keep doing something that it's more gratifying to some of the things that you want to share with a larger audience?
I think it's also like seeing these hate crimes on the internet. I think sometimes it is like a little overwhelming for both anyone seeing that, like especially you keep seeing it again and again and again. And so what can we do to help bring awareness to the subject and also provide support?
So it's true, like the more you keep seeing it, it just re-traumatizes people. You just bring the reminder that things can happen. And sometimes if you don't go out, sometimes you start believing that the whole world out there is so dangerous. People get on the internet and always have expressed opinions. But one suggestion I would say is like, so what is on the internet? It's just on the virtual world. To do something, you also need to have boots on the ground, physically go contact your local leaders or legislators and bring those concerns to them. Go to a city hall or a county, meeting, and say, there's always like a public comment time. And it's really difficult to do public speaking, but if you write it down, go as a group, and just all support each other, you have like 2 minutes, just read off the statement that you have prepared. And it's just like doing a class presentation. Look at it as a class presentation, go and do it, and at least you're putting your leaders on notice that something needs to change. I would say that's more effective than just doing social media. Social media is good, but you have to actually do it physically. So it's always about talk is cheap. You need to walk the walk. You have to do something. And again, if you go together as a group, it feels much safer and much more supportive. And I think that can also allow for young people's voices to be heard and also be part of the whole system of change, so that they don't have to sit back and say, oh, nothing gets changed. Because if you don't do something, you can't complain about it. So that's always been my thing. You can talk all you want. Yeah, you have the right to express your opinion, First Amendment rights, but you also got to do something. And doing something is not just clicking on your computer or something. You have to get up and actually do something physically to make things happen. So.
Thank you, Dr. Wong. We hope that you found this chat informative and helpful. We do want to point out that there are resources available, whether it's for you or for somebody else that needs help. For more information, you can visit the following website for the County of Santa Clara's Call Center for Behavioral Health Services. Thank you for watching.